Now, in more Diddy news, Diddy will be sued. And I say will be because nothing has been filed yet by at least 120 people in the next 30 days. So there is an attorney named Busby, last name Busby. And this attorney, his name is Tony Busby. He has it's almost like the class action lawsuit vibe, where you get a bunch of people to come together that say similar things happen to them, and then you move forward and prosecute. So he says that in 30 days he'll be filing lawsuits on behalf of 120 plus victims who allege that they encountered various things with Sean Combs, Diddy. According to him, it's everything from sexual abuse, drugging, a lot of the common stuff that we've been hearing, like they go party, they get drugged, they're with him by himself and they get drugged and allegedly, and then sex happens but they don't want it, and then friends of Sean Combs join in allegedly. Now let's take a listen to Tony Busby at the press conference yesterday announcing this whole thing.
This individual, who was 9 years old at the time, was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio, in the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal. Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged, and then taken into a private room where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her.
It's interesting how when the indictment came out, folks said, well, it's no underage kids in the indictment, it's no sex with minors in the indictment, but now he's got 25 minors allegedly accusing him.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded crazy. Like I said before, they said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100, which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane. It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right. Now,
why they do a press conference?
Because he wanted to. I mean, the lawsuit was out there and there were reports about it because not the lawsuit, I'm sorry, because nothing was filed. The rumors and the conversation about this happening and the fact that he had been telling people, if you have something that you want to bring to the forefront in the eyes of the law, contact
soliciting
me.
more people,
right? So that was out there. So I guess he wanted to explain what was about to happen in their findings so far. Now, we have also been saying, like, well, who else is a part of this? Because there's no other names. He says, Tony Busby says, that they have names of not only people, but they plan to take down corporations behind this as well, too. Let's take a listen.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. But because of the nature of this case, we're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. But the names that we're going to name are names that will shock you. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are. As we identify them, each will be part of this case as defendants. These defendants will not only include individuals, but would also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels. We know.
Well, you have to question him. You said, why did they do the press conference? They do the press conference, and he throws all of that out there because he's hoping that those corporations and those people that he's talking about will settle before he starts naming names.
And they gave him, and he basically put them on the time clock. He said 30 days. Like we want to do our due diligence, but that gives you a time clock. Now he is claiming that his clients were raped, allegedly, sexually assaulted, allegedly sexually exploited by Diddy and these associates. And again, he's saying that the common thing between a lot of these stories where there was a drink that was laced or tranked, and then things happened. Now, for his past, he has sued some other celebrities, Chris Brown, Travis Scott, to name a few. So
Deshaun Watson
as well too. So I mean, he says names will be dropping. So I guess we gotta wait for this to be filed to see what happens. But
those are the threats that they put out there, hoping that these people or corporations or whoever it is settle.
100%.
Yes, because they've already contacted them to let them know, hey, 30
This is
days,
coming.
I'm naming names. So what you want to do?
Yep.
And a lot of times these companies do settle not because they believe they have any wrongdoing, but because they just don't want their
They don't want the
information
bad
out there.
branding.
And the name
And
attached
they don't
to
want to
it.
go through the trials and the courts and all that. So sometimes it's just easier for a company that's worth hundreds of $1 million just to cut
Throw some bread.
$100,000 check and say keep it moving.
Well, Wendy came out of nowhere. Daily Mail had an exclusive yesterday. Wendy spoke on Diddy. You know, we've all been saying for a while that a lot of this stuff she was already talking about for years, and she said that. She said, what is really weird is that I've been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it. She said even people from her family have reached out to her to let her know that she had already called it. And she says that it's about time that something is happening in relation to Diddy. And she says that when she saw the video of Cassie on TV, she felt like it was horrific. But you have to think, how many more times, how many more people, how many more women? It's just so horrible. So
Yeah, I've never heard Wendy accuse Diddy of committing crimes. She just always accused him of being gay.
Freaky.
No, gay.
Oh.
Well, gay and freaky.
Yeah, that's
freaky
what
gay.
she said freaky, but
Freaky gay.
Yeah, freaky.
But here's the thing about Diddy's situation, right? It don't need any more sauce on it. Like, it needs zero seasoning. He's pretty cooked either way. But it is, you mean to tell me a lawyer found 120 people, exactly 60 men and 60 women?
Oh, it was more. They cut it down to that number.
But exactly 60 men and 60 women, the perfect balance of cheeks. Like, come on now.
balance of cheeks.
Come on. And then when you create things, when you say a 1-800 did Diddy rape me hotline, how do you expect humans to operate in good faith with something like that? Like, how can you go through those calls and pick who's credible?
Talking about
or
20
not?
years ago,
Yo.
I was in a club and he did it. Like, it's
I don't even. I'm just saying. How do you know that these people are
can't.
making accusations in good faith? Like, you think that you put a
can't.
hotline out in this era to the World Wide Web, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people calling. You think people ain't playing?
'Cause you have to
So
have
I'm just
some
saying,
kind of
how do you go through those things and pick who's credible and who's not? That's
How do you get the job for the person that vets the diddler hotline? Like that, honestly, outside of the attorneys,
The
they have to
juiciest
have help.
stories they're gonna go
that
with.
do it. It's like I don't know what are the
juiciest
perimeters.
The stories that's going to hit the press, the stories that people are going to talk about. That's 9 times out of 10 what they're going to take.
Yeah, it's just things like that which make it feels like it makes no, it does. It makes our judicial system a joke, and it ruins the validity of folks with real accusations.
Exactly. And granted, again, these things have not been filed, so we got to wait to see what may be real, what may not be real. But it does. I wouldn't go if I was a victim. I wouldn't be a part of this like major lawsuit. It just looks.
I'm not
like
calling a hotline.
Yeah,
but
at all.
the problem is if you are a victim, a lot of times you can't afford to hire an attorney. So usually an attorney like this will do it for free. We'll do it on the strength of if we win, I get a third. That's why people go to these type of attorneys because they can't afford to pay for an attorney.
And you see why the reason he's calling out these corporations and these pharmaceutical companies, because that's where he's going to have to get the money from, because Diddy ain't going to have no money. Diddy's going to be spending all his money fighting this criminal case and fighting these civil cases.
Fighting them civil cases.
This is 120 cases right here. That's about $12 to $20 million. Mm-hmm. Just him defending, just him having to answer those civil cases.
But you see, they know what they're doing, because look at us.
And that's before trial. That's before they even go to trial.
That's before anything is even filed.
Yes.
Like, there's not even a filing, and look how deep we had to dive into all of this. Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap it up here. That was the first hour.
That's right. Of Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa. All right, now when we come back, Morgan will be joining us. We got front page news, and then comedian actor Dion Cole. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.